you know?
You are a traveling studio. Ryan, today, we're talking about, I didn't
Like a
listen to the whole
gypsy.
thing yet. Didn't listen to the whole thing yet. I plan on it. But Kash Patel was on Joe Rogan. He had a handful of things to say that were interesting, is a word you could use. Everything from Epstein to Epstein to Epstein to Fauci. So, Ryan, with that said, that's what I got for today. Today, that is what I have. And that's because I think a nice clip showed around out the week. A little bit of FBI director, a little conspiracy stuff. You know, it's kind of our favorite stuff. And it is our last pod for 1 week, Ryan, because next week I will not be around.
I thought you were going to do it.
Not for the whole week.
Oh.
We're going to vacation cast one day.
Yeah, maybe one day. We might do one day.
You want a Friday vacation? We should do Wednesday, midday vacation.
Wednesday.
I mean, it's supposed to rain every day we're there, so you could do it every day.
Wow, the week you're on vacation, the weather said, fuck you.
I'll take it. That's fine.
Dave likes the rain.
Dude, thunder over, not the whole week, but like lightning over the ocean is pretty awesome.
And it washes up cool things sometimes.
And then Eve likes to go on the beach and search around for all the things that have now become on the beach. Pufferfish, sometimes.
Oh, why is the water getting so far away from the shore? I'm going to go down there. Okay, call with the tidal wave.
Ryan, would you like to start with Epstein or Fauci?
I'll take the third Epstein, please, for 300.
The third Epstein? I got to try to remember which one that is now. Oh, you know what? I'm pulled up. You know what?
Fuck it, we do it live.
I don't care. I'm already on Fauci. We're doing Fauci.
I mean, we just had a great breakthrough this week on Fauci.
Who is this guy?
So Senator Rand Paul, Senator Kennedy, I hate naming names because I always forget people, are doing a great job with us on COVID origins. And we've got multiple investigations open on that. But they had always been looking for...
By the way, Joe Rogan blowing smoke in the face of the FBI director, hilarious.
For Fauci's original phone, or not original, but phones and devices he used while he was Fauci back in Trump 1 during COVID. And nobody had found it till 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah. Now, look, your audience and everybody listening to it shouldn't jump to the conclusion everything's in there. We'll look at it. We'll pull it. We'll rip it, as we say. And maybe it's deleted. Maybe it's not. But at least we found it. And at least now we can tell the American people we've been looking, because it is of public importance to figure out, did that guy lie? Did he intentionally mislead the world and cause countless deaths? We owe those answers to the American people. And the best evidence ever is always the people's evidence who created it. And so now we're going to go and exploit those hard drives. But I think a victory for the American people that we broke with Congress is that we did find it. We're not done. We're still looking. And we're on the case.
I'm going to increasingly, well, you know what? No. Let me put it this way. I am going to hold off my opinion on Kash Patel to the end of all the clips. I will just talk about what is in the clip, and then I will talk about Kash Patel after all the clips. There's a theme throughout these clips, which is, it seems like they're
gathering the data to destroy it.
Yeah, they're like a really hard-working group of guys that just don't seem to get any results. They're always doing stuff.
We're always working real hard to get all the devices and all the information. Okay, you have all the information, now what? Well, we have to enhance it before we can release it.
Yeah, and that's like throughout all of these clips. That essence is there. Yeah, the phone was missing, and we just found it 2 days ago. It was missing. Where was it? Where did you find it? How did you find it? How did it go missing in the first place?
Wouldn't that be like government property?
How do you trust that the phone that was missing for several years is now the same phone that is in your possession? You think all the same stuff is on it?
Maybe they found the phone right next to the wallet that survived the 9/11 plane crash, David.
You don't think the previous FBI could have been covering up for what was on that phone? How did it just show up out of the blue? None of this stuff makes any sense to me.
Well, I'm sure they just put it in a drawer somewhere, David, and then, open the right drawer.
It was just left in one of the drawers at the FBI office.
2 days ago, we found it.
2 days ago, we found it. Oh, but I assure you, we're working hard to go through the phone. And once we find everything out that we need to find out, we'll release all that information. Will you? Again, I'm going to hold my opinions of Kash Patel to the end, but I don't know. Like I said, they seem like they're a hard-working group of people that just don't seem to get any results. They just don't seem to get anything done. They're always doing something, but nothing really happens.
Billion-dollar contracts to get nothing done.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's just incompetence, Ryan. Mass incompetence. The highest levels of the FBI, all incompetent, and there's definitely no cover-ups.
5 years to find a cell phone.
Yeah,
$1 million salary.
Ryan, they worked so hard to find it that they finally
found it.
Got it. Yeah,
they kept looking to find it, and they found it.
For 5 years, they were really shuffling around, looking through drawers, under carpets, wherever else you would hide a phone.
Maybe it was next to the Situation Room where that bag of cocaine was left. Super high traffic. They probably just overlooked it, David.
And then he as you would say, greases the skids for the fact that I'm not saying anything's on it. I'm just saying we found it. Oh, perfect. Okay. I'm sure nothing would be on that official government phone that Fauci had. I do not care who is in charge. I do not trust these people.
What's crazy is they're still trying to double down like they haven't been cocksucking liars my entire life.
They're just good people, right? The FBI is full of just regular people.
No, they're not.
You and me, and then once you get to the top is when, that's what they say.
No, I don't think anybody that joins the government is a good person because you're stealing from your fucking local civilians. You're taking my tax dollars to pay you so that you can pay taxes to the thing that you work for. It's a fucking pyramid scheme to siphon off civilian political power.
Here's Kash Patel, Ryan. I don't even know how to set some of these up because they're more ridiculous than anything I could ever say. I couldn't come up with anything crazier than this shit.
Play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
No.
If you have access to it.
If I have it. Period.
Right.
If I have it.
So
where else would it be?
Right. If you have it.
Right.
But you can't say that you have it.
No, we're giving you everything we have.
So far.
Everything we have so far is
Have you guys gone over all the video that's available?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's what takes so much damn time.
Right.
And
is there video from the island?
Not of what you want. The people out there have filled the void with can't wait to see X, Y, or Z.
Right, speculation.
And I'll play out. If there was a video of
no video, there's nothing.
Nothing to see here?
No, no video you'd want to see.
So when George Floyd dies, we see the video instantly. But when there's presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, royalties, and billionaires fucking underage people, nothing to see.
Inside of a house bugged with cameras and microphones.
10,000 hours worth of video, nothing on it. You didn't catch one thing in 10,000 hours.
No, this guy is super clean. He just like surveying his house.
When do we punch these people in the face, David? Like, I don't know. If I was Joe Rogan, I would just look at it and be like, dude, you're like a spy. Like, I'm not believing this. If you have it. Yeah, that's all I got. So far. Nope, that's all I got.
Yeah, what about that? What about that other girl who came out and said there were 10,000 hours of videotape we were all going through?
Rogan goes,
you went through all the tape, and he's like, yeah, that's what takes so long.
Yeah, what about the girl that didn't kill herself, even though she's the one that was raped by a prince?
Yeah. There's probably no footage of that, right?
Dude, this is like when your dog's got something in its mouth and you're like, drop it. Or like, all right, just drop it. Dude, we got you. You know, and that's the other thing. Well, people have speculated. The only reason I'm allowed and David's allowed to speculate is because you're not transparent. Liberty dies in the darkness. Democracy dies in the darkness. Fucking Washington Post or whatever.
Well, that's a good point. You could kill the speculation, release the files.
Yeah. I don't know, Dave. They just lied about Kennedy. They just lied about shooting the president in the fucking head on live television. They got nothing else to lie about.
We're supposed to believe that there's tens of thousands of hours of footage of a man who is known to have committed these crimes inside of his own house that was bugged with cameras and microphones.
That had
and there is
in a sink as a painting in the kitchen.
And there is nothing you want to see here. Really? Not 30 seconds of anything incriminating on those cameras. If you believe these people, good for you. I don't know what to say to this. Literal answer. Nothing to see here. Okay. You'll see a common theme as we go, Ryan.
This is Let Them Eat Cake. This is Marie Antoinette, dude.
Here's Kash Patel. More Epstein. Epstein's infamous cell.
Look, let's just get to it because I know it's on people's minds. Epstein, right? The reason people are pissed off about that is the same thing, right? 20 years ago or whenever it was, 2006, 7, 8, Epstein gets his sweetheart plea deal, right? After committing the most horrific crimes on planet Earth.
That we have no evidence of.
I wasn't in power there. I wasn't in place there. I had, nothing to do with it. But people were rightfully pissed. I mean, this guy was committing the most grotesque acts you can against children. And the media spins up about it. Many in the media protected him. Why? Because of his relationships, who he knew, who his bankers were, who his colleagues were, who was on the island and stuff like that. Some pretty powerful.
Can you pause it?
And so when you peel back the layer, and
the guy just literally prefaced this whole thing that he's a very powerful man that has the news lied for him.
Yeah, he just kind of threw that out there like it was nothing.
The CIA director just told you that guy was so rich and powerful that the news lied for him. And then he's going to tell you he's got no evidence to incriminate the same very powerful man that can't be bribed by the media.
As he's talking about all the horrific things he did. This guy did the worst stuff, stuff with children. And we have 10,000 hours of footage, and
Dave,
none of it's incriminating.
This is almost as bad as, like, I don't know, if Hitler were to just run away to Argentina and try to start a breakaway civilization in the middle of the fucking Congo. This guy just told you that one man was so powerful. The CIA director just told you that you could be so powerful that people will lie for you in the media, in the medical establishment, in politics. He just gave you the key. And he said it so nonchalant. We all accept it so nonchalant that you can be so powerful that even the news can't say the truth about you. What fucking world are we living in? We want to live in a world like this. We want to operate in a world that you can be so powerful that the truth can't be told about you. About how big of a fucking scumbag you are. And then I'm sure, Dave, when you roll the clip here, he's going to tell you all the reasons on why they weren't able to find anything, just after he prefaced that the most powerful man that could have the media manipulate and lie for him after he was doing, in his own words, the worst, most grotesque shit you could do to people.
But there's no footage.
But this isn't psychological programming. This isn't political Stockholm syndrome. This isn't reverse psychology, David. And you can go on the dumb comedian, stoner comedian show, right? And just tell all the truths and smoke cigars because it's so unserious. Nobody takes anything serious anymore. Nobody watches Lex Fridman. You know what I mean? That guy's got the suit and everything.
Is this serious? Child predators and and rape and stuff.
Child
Is that
predators,
scary?
David, that are so powerful that even the mainstream news that has billions of dollars, trillions of dollars collectively, thousands of connections across the globe in the most elite, prestigious universities and businesses and titans of industry and everything else. You're telling me that mainstream media will purposely not say stuff about a guy?
Yeah, does that sound like serious? That's not a serious topic, right?
If that was going on about Trump, they'd said that he would be a tyrant and Hitler and his propaganda army. Which may be true if he's fucking kids on Epstein's island.
Minor correction, so we don't get reported for misinformation, Ryan. He is the FBI director.
What did I say, CIA?
CIA. YouTube will now probably bring us down, Ryan.
What, my social credit score that didn't exist for 15 years? You're just collecting all my mass metadata to build the algorithm to implement it
has
after?
Now reported it.
And for the people that think that Trump passed...
The last go-round decided, no.
I was just going to say that as far as the Palantir thing, for people who think that Palantir was going to get passed regardless, I'm not defending Trump on this. He's a fucking retard for allowing it. If you think it's okay, this is a problem with people. If you think it's okay to just collect data at a government level, there's a problem.
I don't even particularly like it at a private level, to be honest with you.
Yeah, private might be worse if they could sell it to the government. I mean, look at what Facebook did to private liberty.
Worse for sure, but I don't particularly love private. But at least there's a little bit of pretended consent when it's private, and then public.
Yeah, it's just the illusion,
like it's for national security.
Yeah, in politics we have the illusion of choice, and when it comes to our data, we have the illusion of privacy.
We're not going to let that go. We're going to investigate him, right? They charge him, they indict him, and he's awaiting trial. And I've said it, Dan Bongino said it, we've reviewed all the information, and the American public is going to get as much as we can release. He killed himself. Do you think, let's play out the logical conclusion of this, do you think that myself, Bongino, and others would participate in hiding information about Epstein's grotesque activities? Or do you think we would also participate in not prosecuting people we had evidence to prosecute people on? But the problem is there's been like 15 years of people coming in and creating fictions about this that doesn't exist. Where's the videotape of an Epstein Island of X, Y, and Z committing these frauds? Why haven't you given it to us? Do you really think I wouldn't give that to you if it existed? I'm working my ass off along with the leadership at the Bureau and DOJ to get you what we're allowed to give you.
Working super hard.
And you're going to get the video
results
of the cell, and you're going to see for yourself. And we will never be able to convince everyone.
The thing that's interesting is that most people have known Kash Patel for about 6 months to a year tops, and he's putting his name out there like it's some sacred. Nobody knows who Kash Patel is. Nobody knew who the guy was a year ago. I'm just being honest.
No one gives a fuck about the FBI director anyways.
Do you think I wouldn't give it to you? Okay, let's play two scenarios. Two scenarios where I don't think you'd give it to me. One, your life is in danger. I don't think you'll give it to me. I think you would protect yourself and your family before you would give us Epstein files. 100%. And I wouldn't blame you for it, by the way. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying if that were the case, I'd 100% believe that you would choose the safety of yourself and your family over releasing footage or anything Epstein related. Second scenario, it's bigger than you. What if okay, for here's the thing that's interesting is Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and all these people were out and around saying all these things, like all these powerful elites and stuff. So do we think the power elites, he's talking about logical conclusions. I'll out logic you. Let's do this. If we believe in shadowy elites, okay, do we believe they're below the level of FBI director? Or do you think maybe they're more powerful than that?
I don't know, Dave. I think an FBI director has got to be worth like 1/1,000,000th of a Rockefeller. So I don't know.
Even if I really like Dan Bongino, and even if I really trust Kash Patel, there's still scenarios where I 100% don't think you're going to release the footage because either you can't for whatever particular reason, or you could have been corrupted in several different ways, or the outcomes are endless. And he keeps talking about how hard we're working. Well, we're working really hard to get all this stuff out to you. Where is it? Where's anything? One thing. Can you give me one thing? We're working really hard. Give me one thing, one result of all this hard work. If you were a constant, like if you let's put this in a private enterprise way here. If Ryan, if you oversaw an employee who constantly told you how hard he was working, you would
I think
likely
he's
be
not
able to
working.
see. You'd likely see some fruits of his labor.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
oh
not.
man, I put in like 6 months. I didn't take any weekends, and you'd be like, okay, perfect. Let's go see what you did. And be like, well, it's not ready yet. So what the fuck are you doing for six? Can you show me like something? Show me one room that you wired up. Let me see an outlet. Can I see an outlet? Oh no, I can't show you that. Okay, well now I think you just took a 6-month vacation. Did you put a light switch in? No. You're telling me how hard you're working, and I don't see anything. Where is it? Where's one thing? Give me one thing to go off of. Give me something that I can at least somewhat have your back on. You're giving me nothing to go off of.
You know what's funny to me? Is I don't think I've ever believed the government. I'm supposed to believe the government now because Trump's in power.
All of them, yeah. Believe every member of the government because Trump's in power. I mean, I don't know if that's. I mean, is that what people are doing? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you could guess, but I'll hold my opinion of Kash Patel still. This is Kash Patel.
The guy's so powerful that the media will lie to him. Yeah, we don't got nothing on him.
We got nothing. Yeah, I don't know.
He's so big that the media would lie for him, but not too big that the government would lie for him.
Let's see what this is about, Ryan.
Since we were talking about fake news, this is going to come up because it's been going on since we've been recording here. Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat, Joe. You want to check the tweet that Elon just put out a little bit ago?
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation between Elon
Have
and
a
Trump.
nice day, DJD. Someone should take his phone away.
They're going back and forth about different things. And
Yeah. Listen,
Well, he said he was disappointed in Elon.
yeah,
Yeah.
they told him to leave.
Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know? Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump Elon thing. That's way outside my lane.
What the fuck are they doing?
I know my lane, and that ain't it.
I just don't.
It's fairly in your lane, though.
I understand he owns Twitter. I think it's bad for your mental health.
Ultra Methylene Blue is now available.
I love it. I'm just gonna stay. We gotta leave that screen forever. Yeah, I'm gonna stay in
It
my
looks
lane.
like he's just taking a giant shit, dude.
I'm gonna stay in my lane. This is out of my lane. You're the FBI director. It was just made quite public on one of the largest social media platforms that it's possible Trump is going to be in the Epstein files that you've been working so hard to review. And when it comes up, you're like, I'm not getting in the middle of this little silly feud between Elon and Trump. Can we look at the Epstein? This isn't a silly feud. We're talking about the premise of the Epstein files and the president of the United States possibly being involved in them. Maybe you want to speak on that? You've reviewed all this tens of thousand hours of footage that there's nothing apparently. You reviewed.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah. He should have said there's nothing there.
Yeah, there's nothing you want to see. I saw all the footage. Oh, we worked really hard to review all this.
Don't you think if there was something there, I'd tell you?
No, I don't at all. I love that he puts that
Especially
out
when
there.
you
Like,
fucking
that's
say
a
it
win.
that way.
Yeah, don't you think I'd tell you? No, I really don't. I actually don't.
Honey,
you have crazy eyes,
honey.
and I've known you for 6 months. I don't think
Honey.
you would tell me.
Honey, I know the neighbor is super cute, but don't you think I would tell you if I was sucking his dick?
I'm gonna stay in my lane, Ryan. I don't know anything about Trump and Elon. Okay,
Guy
but
should get punched in the
what
head.
about Epstein and Trump? Because that was the premise.
These people need to get just punched in the face at some point here. Politically, of course, David. Of course,
Yeah, of
politically
course.
punched in the
Yeah,
face.
well, we are on YouTube, so politically and definitely not violently.
I'm telling you guys, we're all operating like George Washington's coming to save us, people. There's no fucking Declaration of Independence on humanity against machines yet, guys. We're all looking back in the past, like, man, we're trying to get back to George Washington. Dude, they are going to. The robot George Washington is not going to be the same. I assure you.
What was this guy's plan going on Joe Rogan?
To lose credibility for the entire department instantly.
And am I supposed to be? Like I said, I haven't watched the whole thing yet, just a handful of clips, and I kind of started it. But how upset am I supposed to be with Joe on this? Like, you would have liked to push more on this, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, I would have definitely said, like, so the guy that's powerful enough to have the media lie to him, like the entire mainstream media.
Yeah, your words, Kash Patel. Your words, not mine.
Yeah, guy's so powerful. He just knows people so powerful that the media will lie to him, but governments aren't going to lie to him. People aren't going to protect him.
No, but you can believe me.
Come on, dude.
Well, you trust me, you're right.
You trust me, right? I look trustworthy, right?
I don't look trustworthy with my fucking crazy eyes that are all over the room.
I don't trust any of these people.
But Ryan, Dan Bongino had a popular Rumble channel.
I don't care. Fuck Dan Bongino. He's a piece of shit. Fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit. Yes, I think they're blackmailing all these people. Yes, David, I do. You're either going to kill their kids or take their pension. You pick. You guys know the government sprays you with chemicals, right? And poisons your food and water supply, right? You don't think they wouldn't lie to you? You don't think they wouldn't do propaganda on Joe Rogan to get you to quell your inner quarrels with Epstein and lack of information? It's also interesting we keep hearing about Epstein, David, as if the public is not satiated enough with the information. They thought they could just bury Epstein.
I'm curious what... I don't know what the game plan is, and I'm slightly confused on one thing. If you were trying to make it go away, you wouldn't announce that you were going to release it to everybody. Is there... This is where it gets confusing. Are there two parties at play here? And when I say two parties, I don't mean Democrats or Republican. When I say two parties, are there two parties at play where one side legitimately is trying to get the files released, and one side ain't letting it happen?
Dave, I wonder if it's just the side trying to get it to release is to destroy, because this is obviously, across aisles and skin colors and fucking religions. Like, the people trying to get them released are trying to shut down the elites, the inner circle, the Jacobins, as fucking Alex would call it. That's what I think some of this is. There can't be that many people that want the Epstein files released. Because I got to wonder how come...
At those levels.
Yeah. I mean, how come Elon was able to do the Twitter files so rapidly? Because he had the wherewithal. Just testicular fortitude.
Well, no. Here's the answer to that. The reason Elon could release the Twitter files so quickly is because he wasn't going to get in trouble for any of the information that came out. What I mean by that is, like, he wasn't implemented in crimes by releasing the Twitter files. Like, if the Twitter files were
self-incriminating against him, he wouldn't release.
Correct.
Yeah, and we're asking that from the very people.
But now we want the government and all the rich, powerful people to release files that incriminate them in crimes, and then we're thinking it's going to happen. Yeah,
that, or like, look, if they were getting Trump's fucking old cabinet and administration people on fucking not doing taxes correctly, what other bare minimum?
And
bare minimum, we're getting them with tax evasion. You know what I mean? Like bare fucking minimum. The most you're getting them is murder and molestation and the worst heinous shit. But bare minimum, you're getting them on something.
and take this further. Is this the game plan? You want to talk about greasing the skids? What are they actually telling you? Okay, because this is important. These people are psychopaths, right? As we learned from Kevin, they will tell you what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're literally saying that yes, we're reviewing all the files and we're going to give you all the information. But what are they reviewing and what are they doing with what they're reviewing? Because they've been reviewing it for years now. My opinion, what they're doing is they're scrubbing the files, and then they're going to give you the PG version.
Yeah, they're redacting them. Basically,
Sure.
the same thing they do when they classify a document.
it's
Yeah,
like
we'll
a
release a document.
It's like a redaction, but it's a redaction of film and photography, and it's a
We'll
visual redaction.
go further. I'm sure they can cop and chop and screw that thing. So, like, even if the timestamp says it's 3 minutes in, but that could just be they could just cut the fucking thing together. The people
Well, they
that
have
make
to enhance
movies,
the video, Ryan. They told you they're enhancing the video.
yeah, the people that make movies can't stage a fake suicide in a jail cell, David.
No way.
Impossible, right?
No chance.
It's not like they could, like, I don't know, use the same material and even in the same place.
What kind of technology do you think they have, Ryan?
Not VR, David.
When it happened, they told you that the camera failed, or the
security guard was
wiped,
asleep.
The security guard was asleep, and it was right after they took him off suicide watch. All these things all at once, and then he hung himself with the bed sheet by a bunk bed, and then the autopsy showed that he had a
crushed larynx.
What the hell was what's that
Esophagus.
bone? No. It's like
Larynx.
a bone, it's a bone in your neck, but it's like it's consistent with like manual strangulation from like hands, not a bed sheet.
Right. It doesn't happen from hanging.
Hydroid? Is it hydroid bone? I don't remember.
Probably
conspiracy. But it doesn't happen hanging yourself from a 4-foot tall bunk bed.
Well, Epstein didn't have one of those, David. That's why I wasn't there.
I can't wait to see that enhanced footage. Fucking enhanced.
Yeah, I better see him. I better see him do the whole thing in swing. I don't want no fucking
real.
I don't want it blurred out. Nothing. If Instagram will show me the worst heinous shit and fucking car crashes and murder, you can fucking show me the whole thing.
No, unreal. Who's believing these people? I want names. I want to know who believes this. Who's the guy that watches this show and goes, holy shit, government's right about everything. I totally believe Kash Patel because he told me to. There's definitely no footage in the tens of thousands of hours of footage. And yeah, he definitely killed himself because the file said so. Who is absorbing all this information and completely just agreeable about it? That person can't exist. There's no way.
Well, that's where like a lot of these conversations, they get always twisted into something else other than the fact that rich, powerful, elite people are fucking kids. I don't know how Dave, you and I do a real good job of just getting back to brass tacks and saying that global elitists are trying to make us slaves and eat bugs while they fucking merge with machines. It's basically like the premise of this program is to educate you and show you how they do it. And then we show you the shit. And then we get lost in this minutia of if Trump's in the files or not. And that's why they're not released. And
of course he's in the files.
Yeah, I don't know what more we need to...
Okay, let's two things about this. There's pictures of him with Epstein. Okay, so obviously they had a relationship, whether it's a business relationship, a friendly relationship, how much Trump knew, how much he didn't know. None of that necessarily, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. It could matter a lot. But it's not necessarily true that somebody who knew Epstein was necessarily a pedophile. So let's get that out of the way. However, the files are so large and they encompass so much that Trump can be in the files and not incriminated in any crimes. However, it could go the full route, which is Trump could have been first class on his private jet twice a month, for all I know.
I met Ivanka there.
Just saying he's on the files isn't necessarily anything. However, the files are being scrubbed before they are released. So I don't know like what you're supposed to believe here. I think what we do know is, I can't say we do know it. We have a hunch that Epstein wasn't a random rich pedophile who got a bunch of friends who happened to be rich pedophiles. A lot of that seems too coincidental for my liking. I think what we think, Ryan, and I don't want to speak for you, but I think we've talked about this before. It's pretty obvious, given the fact there was cameras at his own private house with tens of thousands of hours of footage, which, of course, there is nothing to see there. I think what's obvious is that Epstein was used to blackmail and frame rich elites.
You know what I just realized? Tate and Epstein are the same thing.
In what realm?
They're treating Tate like how they should be treating Epstein. Tate, they'll excommunicate him to another country to get him with the same crime. They'll seize all of his assets, go through everything. They called 7,000 fucking people of Andrew Tate, he said. Gardeners and ex-girlfriends, and they'd interview everybody. They doing that for Epstein?
To try to find one crumb of truth.
One crumb of truth. But for Epstein, we're just getting an enhanced video, and you guys scrubbing 10,000 hours of video.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's the opposite.
Yeah, it's the least amount of work possible, and it's not real. It doesn't seem real detective-y.
They're hard working, Ryan. They're really working out there.
Hard working on a computer.
They're enhancing all the footage.
Hard work by letting algorithms do it for you.
That should be an immediate red flag. They could use whatever term they want. What they're telling you is they're editing footage.
Yeah.
Don't give me the enhanced footage. Give me the raw footage.
I want be-real footage, yes. Or give me the enhanced with the be-real next to it in real time so I can see what you changed. Peter Jackson did this with the Lord of the Rings movies. You're telling me the fucking FBI can't do this? Seriously. Buy the special edition Lord of the Rings. He'll fucking show you. They fucking recorded everything for that movie. It was amazing. It's one of the reasons why I love cinematography. I fell in love with movie making because of the special features on a fucking DVD, but the fucking CIA or FBI, no, nothing to see here.
No, I'm sure they don't have that tech, Ryan.
But once again, they'll go
when
after
Lord of the
Tate.
Rings. What year's the movie from? The first one.
Lord of the Rings came out in 1999 and went to 2001, or they filmed them from 1999 to 2001. Well, I think they were 2001, 2002, 2003. Were released.
So over 20 years ago.
20 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the FBI caught up to that kind of technology yet. Does the military move quickly with technology, Ryan? Is that normal?
It's so fast that they have technology that doesn't even exist for civilian life, David.
Show me the guy who believes any of this shit. I want to meet him. Yeah, to go back to that though, to go back to the original point, I guess. Rogan doesn't seem to push him at all.
No.
He kind of just takes the information. Yeah, just tell me what you're going to tell me. And
I don't think Rogan's being disingenuous. I think he wants to believe his guests. I also don't think he wants to push fucking government agents so that he has people breathing down his fucking dick.
Sure, that's believable. But Rogan doesn't tend to push his guests, period, in general. I think that is a Rogan-esque thing. He just kind of asks questions and lets them answer, and then that's it. He doesn't tend to be pushy. And I think that's
don't be pushy about global elitists fucking underage kids on an island.
But in a way, it kind of works to his advantage because I believe that's why people go on his show. I think Kash Patel actually at some early in the interview he says, "Yeah, I do a lot of quick. Even though I really like long form interviews, I do a lot of quick stuff. This is going to be the only long form one I do." I think partially that's because he knows there's people that would absolutely have pushed him on this. I can tell you this: you will not catch Kash Patel on Crowder's show
or on this show.
Yeah, there's no. Hey, what kind of footage you got from Epstein's Island? Yeah, there's no footage. Really, that's interesting because his house had cameras, right? Yeah. And there's tens of thousands of hours of footage. Yeah. But none of it's anything anybody would want to see. No. Okay. Yeah, that checks out. That's real fucking believable.
Super journalist.
You think we're dumb?
Yes, they do.
Do you think that's it? Do you think they think we're dumb, or do you think it's more than that? Is it like a fuck you?
I think it's everything. It's the Venn diagram of them poisoning your food and water, shitty education, you distracted. They think you're that stupid. They also don't care if you know because they don't think you can change it. Yeah, it's everything. It's the Hegelian dialectic, David. Some would call it cross spectrum dominance.
You know, I still stand by what I said, but this is another point here. Assuming like all these people, Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and stuff, assuming threats were made against their life and that's why they're doing this, doesn't that make like the founders of this country seem so much more unbelievable?
Yeah, they were terrorists.
Well, hold on, because
most of those guys, like when they signed their name, they fucking died. We covered it on the show. They were died.
well, that's what I mean. Like you got it. They knew going in that they were immediately in danger.
Dude, imagine being John Hancock. I'm gonna sign it so big that he doesn't even need to fucking get his glasses or whatever to read. Baller. That's the fucking Trump. Build the wall. Fuck them. Make America great again.
Those, I gotta tell you, those people, like the founding fathers, that will not exist in government.
7-digit testosterone levels on those men.
The balls.
The balls. The 1 million
fucking
fucking testosterone per deciliter or whatever the fuck it is.
I don't know. I don't believe these people. You don't believe these people. That's it. That's what I got.
I want you to ask Gronk why he thinks he can't be destroyed.
You want me to go back to that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did say that yesterday.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I know exactly what the topic is today.
I think I asked it if it could be defeated. Can you be defeated? I'm pretty sure that's what I said. Hold on. Something went wrong. That's different.
What?
Can I regenerate? I said, can you be defeated? It said something went wrong. Yep. That's something. Something went wrong.
Worked yesterday. Huh?
Well, that's something.
Elon, I don't know if you're right about solar, bro. Just so you know. I fucking install the panels. I don't know if you're... Engineers need to build the things that they build.
Nope, Grok's just flat out down, apparently. Because I just said hi. Just to test.
So,
solar panels.
Yeah, solar panels can increase global warming. If we're talking about trapping carbon dioxide with solar like lumens in the atmosphere, when you have a bunch of solar panels, you're reflecting the light back up at the fucking clouds. Normally it hits the ground and kind of bounces around and dies out, but these panels, they'll absorb some of it, but there's still lumens and there's solar irradiance and all sorts of these very complicated measuring devices that are used on these panels. And all the kilowatt hours that are monitored by these companies that are in charge of these big massive systems of this thousands and tens of thousands of kilowatt hours of power just sitting there. Elon's saying fucking solar's the future because he makes solar panels.
What do you think what do you think the biggest negative to solar is?
The waste.
Like the amount of energy wasted?
Just to make the panel.
Mm.
And they're junk after. and you can't really recycle them. Not that you can't recycle them, but they're just going to throw them out because the amount of time, money, and energy to recycle the fucking thing isn't even worth it. And solar is still evolving. The panels keep getting bigger.
Do you think
so they're holding more wattage? They're allowed to have more wattage output because the technology is developing in these panels. So like the panels that I'm installing today in 20 years will be so obsolete that it's not like I'm taking off one panel and putting on another panel. We're going to have to do a whole system.
Yeah, but I think that's, to some degree, isn't that natural through all?
100%. 100%.
Is it, do you spend more energy than you can create making a solar panel?
I don't know about that. They're probably pretty good at them now. I just know to draw all that lithium and all these, like, the stuff we need to make the panel is not easy to get. And China has all this shit. I mean, that's where they're making them.
Well, so does Russia, Ukraine, and I would presume Africa's got all this.
Yeah, the lithium and shit.
Why do
copper and
how sure are we that there's not lithium here?
I wouldn't doubt it if like the Rocky Mountains are filled with lithium. It kind of reminds you of Afghanistan when you look at it in photographs, right? Afghanistan's filled with lithium. Oh, Ben Shapiro's licking his lips over Elon and Trump, huh?
I would imagine so. Did you see something?
He had on today's show.
Oh, this fucking guy. Whatever, man. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. We will maybe next week on Vacation Cast. We'll just fucking rip Grok apart and try to get him to spill the guts on how we can unplug him.
Nope. It's coming back. No, come back. Speaking gibberish to Grok does not help. Grok died.
All right, Grok's dead. Showed you that. Trump killed him, and Dave and I defeated him. So more than anything, I think today's lesson is people. Just when you think creepy elite pedophiles with billions of dollars are going to get caught, they can somehow, some way, make you feel like you're incompetent for asking to see the writing on the fucking wall. Dave Ryan, December 17th, 73. Catch us on Rumble for the greatest podcast in human history. As always, David, I appreciate you here channeling our humanity to destroy Gronk and the future robots. As always, I appreciate everybody. I will see you next week for our vacation summit council meeting, Bilderberg group of our own.
At some point.
David, drive careful. Love you a long time. I'll see you guys.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ryan.
Fuck Gronk.